It's time for another special edition of Litter Media Live, and today we're going to be talking about the American Legion Post 62 family with their back-to-school drive, which is coming before the end of summer. It's amazing how quickly this is happening. We have guests in studio with us today. To my immediate left is Nate Steinbrook. To the far right, or right on your screen, to my far left is his ever-lovely wife, Carrie Steinbrook.
Good morning.
Good to have you both here. And it was a late night for all of us, thanks to the fireworks. But here we are, doing our public duty. Coming up, we'll tell you more about this drive, getting kids back to school. Details coming up. But first, this from Classic Brands. Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. As we mentioned, the back-to-school drive is coming up August 9th, and this is something that the American Legion Post has put together. And when we talk about the American Legion Post, and we have talked with representatives before about this, Nate, but this goes beyond just being the Post. It extends to all the different facets of Post 62.
Sure. So within the organization, obviously, you have those that have served, and then you have the Sons of the American Legion, so male descendants of those that have served, whether that be extensions all the way to grandparents. And then you've got the Ladies Auxiliary. So all of those organizations are there to support the post in general, or the veterans in general. But we are sub-extensions, and we do have our own agendas, and we have our own fundraising efforts. Carrie and I spend plenty of time at the Legion. We cook often. We're going on 9 years of membership, and it is a Legion family. We enjoy the people we spend time with. Carrie and I have just settled into a role where she keeps me busy. That's what I'll always say.
That's why this marriage works.
We just have to be doing something.
Somebody asked us last week. They said, "What makes you guys tick?" And Nate goes, "I just think she has to be busy all the time." Or and he's just settled in, and I appreciate it so much that I just always have something going on, and it's always for a good cause. And he can't really tell me no, because it's always for something that's beneficial to the community or something. So it's just what we do.
She gets this from Pam.
I know.
Well, in the heart of her father. So
yes. And to be fair, the Post 62 was my family's home. If you look every year on certain days that they post, there's a picture that is my father just out of Vietnam, my great-grandfather, my great-uncle, and my grandfather out in front of the Post 62. And that's where they were. That's what they joined. That's where they stayed. And I feel like that's kind of where we settled in, is, we're just going to continue that family tradition.
Our clubs are important. I know sometimes outside perception is that it's just a bar. But we do so much more than that. And the American Legion, as well as the VFW and our AMVETs, and a lot of our other private clubs give tons of money back to the community. It's not always out there. They're not the ones that typically like to show up and do a check presentation. They've done a little bit more of it lately because we think it's great to do that. But so much money goes back to the community from our clubs. And we personally spend our time because we believe the importance of what we're doing. So,
and those guys and gals who served in the military, they didn't do it to beat their chest. They did it and that has followed through with what they do in the civic area.
Yep.
Absolutely.
True. Yep. And it trickles all the way down from the top, all the way down to the SAL, which is Sons, and the Auxiliary, and we all are there to show appreciation for the sacrifice and things that they did for us. And we make sure that nobody forgets that, and we just keep that, homage going.
Yeah. So I remember as a kid, it seemed like it was just a bunch of old guys, Oh. And then my introduction to the American Legion was Buckeye Boys State.
Absolutely.
Huge.
And then I learned a lot about what they really are doing and teaching you about civil service and so on and so forth.
Americanism, patriotism,
All of it.
Absolutely.
And I think the SAL sent 12 boys up to Boys State. The auxiliary.
I think collectively, I can't remember the number.
Our club sent double digits between Girls State and Boys State because girls they do it at the same time. But it's something that not a lot of people know, and it's a huge thing. And I had a friend, and you said you've gone, and I didn't. She went and still is friends with people that she went with in high school. Yeah. Like they learned so much. It's about government and Americanism and things. It's a huge deal that not a lot of people know about.
Mm-hmm. You're about to say about your clubs.
Oh, I was just going to say that's so this is how this idea spawned for this back to school drive was through a conversation with a fellow member that's in the school systems, and Carrie can reiterate on how that conversation went. And
it was just it just was a quick conversation. We were just talking about there's a need, and then it kind of morphed into, I'm taking over a position that has the children and youth of the district in mind, and we always do a drive in October, but there's a need at the beginning of school that not a lot of people know about. There's a lot of initiatives that are that are during the summer months, and they happen, but when you get those donations, sometimes they don't make it to the classroom. For whatever reason, there's all kinds of things that go on that we don't know about at home. And I just know I've talked to educators, administrators, and people over the last week. This happened less than a week ago. That there's just a need that some kids show up and they don't have what they need. I have a friend that teaches 6th grade, and 26 kids, 2 showed up with what they needed. The rest of them maybe had one thing. Most of them had none. So to give those kids that kind of start to school is just not acceptable. Like they at least need to feel like that's a place they can go, they're supported, and people care, and it's a place that they want to go, because then that's when you start getting attendance problems and why aren't they here and what's going on, and it and unfortunately it falls back on the kids having to pay the price for stuff that's not their fault. So that's kind of where it came from.
What sort of items are we looking for here?
So we are looking for school supplies. And then we're also looking for youth-size socks, underwear, and leggings. There's some things happen during the day that you may not have prepared for. I don't know if I ever went to school with an extra set of clothes in case things happen. So but some people don't have a parent to call. They don't have someone to come and scoop them up and save the day. So that's where the teachers come in and the secretaries come in. And I've heard that on more than one occasion, that the secretaries know everything. Yeah. They know what's going on at home. They know what's going on at school. And I want those people to be armed with what they need to help those kids if they need it.
So the list is a little extensive, especially when you look at the younger kids, because there's so many more things that happen in the young classroom. So hands-on things, that's where you get into a bigger list with glue sticks and the thing, not a high school need, with the youth, with the kids, that list is bigger. And
I just put crayons, Crayolas, all your stuff. But I didn't put it on there, but antibacterial wipes and tissues, and they need Ziploc baggies for whatever reason to keep their stuff separate, or if they do need to leave their backpack at school, they can have a place to put their stuff.
We could give you the.
I'll give you the school list.
You can share it. So spawned the idea quickly with a fast turnaround time to do a drive behind or beside the American Legion Post 62, which is on 53 West Main Street.
There's an alley right beside the radio station, which you guys are both familiar with.
Yeah, this is a further drive for you than it used to be. Just across the alley for the radio station.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I want there to be like an old fashioned drop. You can drop it off if you want. You can drive through the alley. If you make a donation, we're going to give you a hot dog and chips. So you get a meal
or burger and chips. We're going to provide some lunch. So if you spend your lunch hour because you decide you're going to run out to Walmart real quick and grab some goods and bring them to us, the least we can do is provide you with lunch. We're going to run 11 to 7.
Mm-hmm. 11 to 7. I spoke with the Chillicothe Police Department this morning. They are going to help us with the traffic control, just in case. I told them I didn't want to create too much chaos downtown. Sure. I mean, I like to create some chaos, but I don't want to cause issue.
If nothing else, people pay attention when there's a police car. Yeah. So if we put a sign behind the 2 cars, then
see those blue and red lights.
Yep. Yes. The hope is, this is a great start, and you'll get us out there. But a lot of times you'll see these drives work where somebody simply drives past and they say, you know what, I'm going on Bridge Street anyway. I'm going to get some stuff and I'm going to bring it back. So,
and we want to continue it too. We're going to put some containers in the Post 62 lobby, so you don't necessarily have to come in if it's like a couple days later. We're going to continue that going on, and we're going to give it directly to the schools also. It's going to go directly to them so they can distribute it as needed.
They kind of keep a closet full of the things, or hopefully full of the things as the year progresses. And obviously this is a big back to school thing, but a lot of this is keeping them or getting them a little stocked up, because they understand that there's going to be plenty of times where somebody still needs another thing or they don't have this. So and there are other initiatives going on in town with drives. We just wanted to roll up our sleeves and try to work our relationships and make our asks to make this happen. Carrie and I have had, in the short amount of time, I've had some good conversations just about what it means to go back to school and what that feeling is. And I didn't grow up with a lot of money. My biggest concern was, well, it's still a thing. What are you wearing back to school on your first day, your first impression? And I was just really taken back by the fact that there are kids that are going to show up without the things they need to get a solid education. And if we want to make an impact, when we want to make a change in this next generation, then early education and ongoing education through high school is a very important foundation.
And knowing they have the support there, and knowing there's people that care, and knowing that, not just their teachers, but there's people in the community there that are willing to help, and we're there. And I think that giving that kid that information and that kind of whatever's going on at home, that they can go to school and they can feel supported. They feel like somebody cares and they have what they need there to get that base of education, because that's going to be their foundation to get further in life, whatever's going on now.
I know we have a list of items that you would like to have. However, if someone says, I don't want to go out and do the shopping, can I just drop off a financial
Absolutely.
donation?
Yep. Monetary donations are accepted. I'm probably going to share my Venmo with you. I don't use it personally. I've only used it for philanthropic stuff. Literally, I told Nate this morning, I said we could do Venmo and do that if somebody wants to do it. I'll share that. But obviously, drive through, give us a 20, and we're going to take it and we're going to go straight shopping with it and get it right to the people. We're going to take that Legion van. I want to pack it full. I want to drive it over there, and I want to have to have 2 to 3 vans full. So.
Yeah, if you can't make it that day and you want to drop stuff off, the Post 62 has extended hours. We're open from 9 o'clock till late every day. So you could buzz in. If you wanted to write a check, you could write the check directly to American Legion Post 62. Easy enough, right?
Yeah, it's not.
The big thing is we're gonna get the grill out and we're going to do a drive and we're going to see what happens.
Yep. I got a couple of phone calls to make, and there's going to be some teachers there. They're going to help take in some donations too. So we have the support of our local educators, and they appreciate it. And they said it's going to go really far. It's going to go a lot, and it's going to give them some reassurance. A lot of them use their own money to make sure that the kids have what they need, which is honorable. Thank you for that all the time, but let's try to minimize that. Let's try to make sure they don't have to do that. They're important enough to our kids. Let's support them and the children.
Community taking care of the kids.
Absolutely.
Certainly.
That's all it is.
Thank you for this idea that has been brought to us and for sharing.
I have one more thing I'd like to say. There is something going on August 12th. It's called Tools for Schools. Mm-hmm. I'm going to share that contact information with you. It's going to be I believe in the park. Mm-hmm. They provide a lot of things for kids, and I did speak to the person that heads that up yesterday and said that I'd mention it. So keep that in mind. If you can't make it on the 9th, they're always accepting donations, and they need people to actually, and organizations to be a part of that event. They do backpacks. They offer haircuts for kids. It's a really cool thing that a friend of mine in the sheriff's department actually shared the link with me when I started talking about this just randomly with her the other day. So it's amazing when you start having conversations with the people that you know what you can get accomplished in a very short amount of time. And our community has always been great about that. So I'm so thankful, and I hope we can make this a big thing, and I hope it's an annual thing, and we just keep making it bigger.
Your event is on Friday, theirs is on Monday, and school starts in 3 days after that.
Yeah, so it's a very short amount of time, but it's going to, all those efforts are going to go a very long way for our kids in the community. So I just want to make sure everybody knows what's going on, how they can help, and please just, donate what you can.
I mentioned to a group of kids the other day and said, school's just about to start. And they're like, wait a second, it's still summer.
I still got 30 days here.
I feel like summer just started yesterday. It just happened so fast, and it always does. But, again, they're going back to school. They need some help, and we're here to do it.
Fantastic. Again, the American Legion Post 62 family helping this to happen. And again, if you want to get the information, we'll have more details for you inside the Post once we get those details, and we'll share it for you here as well. Thanks again to Carrie and Nate Steinbrook for stopping in, and thank you for watching as well here on another edition of Litter Media Live.